those of you who got an invite, welcome to NerdProm.
No matter where in the world you are, we're all Nerds International. With the hyphen. Nerds International proudly presents.
We want to take you on a quest for knowledge. One that will take us from ancient medieval fantasy across the far reaches of space to the distant future. To many savage worlds.
Welcome to the Wild Eye Podcast, episode 44. This is a podcast dedicated to pinnacle entertainment savage worlds aimed at beginners and veterans alike. Well, shaking no sleeves, you're looking pretty svelte. You've been out shoveling the driveway, building up those sweet biceps.
Yeah, doing some snow angels, all that fun stuff. How about you? One jacket, Gary?
I got my jacket on. It's cold in the basement. I also have my little red blankie around my legs because it's chilly down here. The furnace doesn't usually kick in till 6 o'clock in the morning when we get up, and I can hear it running in the background because it actually snowed. We got some snow on the ground today for the second time this week. It'll be gone by noon, though.
Listen to this chatter, man. This is like two old men. No, it's not like two old men. It is two old men talking.
I know.
It's ridiculous. We need to.
About the weather.
The snow will be gone by about midday. Okay, good. What is this, weathercast? Come on, we're here to talk about Savage Worlds. This is ridiculous.
Cup of tea.
Yeah, tell us about your little 10-year-old birthday party that you went to. Almost got arrested at.
I was invited to that birthday party. It was my niece. I didn't just show up uninvited.
I thought you just kind of like going down the street and saw a sign that said birthday party and just went in, started drinking all the little kids' sugary drinks.
Yeah, sometimes I do that, but in this case, this was when I was actually invited to.
How old's your niece?
She's 10. You just said it was a 10-year-old birthday party. That's usually a sign.
I was just assuming that she was 10. I made that up. I didn't know.
Today was supposed to be Kings of Convenience, and I announced it and everything on Twitter, and people are excited, but no, it's not going to happen. What's going on with Kings of Convenience, Harrison?
So, I just want to say extremely apology. So I just want to say I'm very sorry to everyone that obviously we're not recording that today. Instead, we got something else in store for you. The reason is that Manuel is unwell. He has got some sort of rare exotic flu, and he was unable to make it, and obviously we can't do the game without him. We are going to finish that series, hopefully, and obviously I really, really enjoy doing it, and both episodes that we've done so far I think have turned out extremely well, and we got amazing, overwhelmingly good feedback for it, so we really, really do want to finish it, and we are going to, hopefully, if Manuel can, not die, basically. So we're hoping that he pulls through. But if he doesn't, we'll just get any old other German in.
Yeah, I think it's the Nickelodeon flu.
That's what
it's called. I was ready to rock at my new character. I was excited about playing it. So
yeah, me too.
We'll get back to it.
We will get back to it.
The intrigue. It'll have to wait for 2 weeks now. Find out, or more. It depends.
We a little while back we did an interview about an up and coming Savage Worlds product called Zombie Squad, which looked awesome. And in that book they have spaceships. Now, what is a spaceship? Well, if you don't know, do a bit of googling. But in that, the Wild Die has its own ship, and it is called The Wild Die, and it is awesome. And we posted some pictures of it on our Google Plus and on our Facebook, so if you want to see what it looks like, have a look. It's got all the stats on there as well, and the picture, which is amazing. The artwork is just incredible. So that'll give you a little taster as to what you can see in that book. But and if you want to go and find out what the book is all about, we did an interview with two guys who made that book and on this podcast, so you can go and listen to that episode as well. But it sounds incredible, and the actual setting is sci-fi kind of Suicide Squad-esque because you play criminals who have been forced to do good stuff kind of thing in a sci-fi setting.
Yeah, the ship is pretty badass, and it's got our logo on it on the side too, which is pretty sweet.
Yeah.
So thanks. That was Ian and James.
Next up, we had an email from a fan who said his name is Ronald Pulliam, and he says, my next character is going to be shoot, throw, kick, and burp out a spell man. That is going to be his only superpower. What do you guys think of that?
Is that what his character's name's going to be?
Yep. Shoot, throw, kick, and burp out a spell man.
I'm not playing in that game because it would just take forever to say the guy's name.
You could abbreviate the name, so don't worry about that. It would still be awkward to say.
Steak Man?
Yeah, Steak Man. But then that would be confusing because when he turns up and he doesn't do anything related to steak, that'd be annoying. For those that don't know what we're talking about, there is an ongoing dispute as to whether or not you can shoot, throw, kick, burp out a spell on the same turn. The debate is ongoing. Can you do all of those as a multi-action in one turn? Yes or no? Anybody that is interested or still cares, let us know. Eric, what's this about your Wiseguys video diary? Tell us about that.
Yeah, I started a new video log about my process writing my first Savage World setting. And the thing is, when you start out with that, there isn't a whole lot of literature or information about how to do that. We've already talked about Richard Wilcock, who's got a bunch of articles on that are quite helpful. But other than that, you're pretty much on your own when you do this, right? So I figured that I just talk about the process, how it started, how I wrote it. Well, I'm still writing it, but how it's going. So they're short, like 15 minutes episode on YouTube where I go through that and answer questions. So if you're currently writing your first setting or thinking about it, just check it out. It might be useful. I don't claim to be an expert, not at all. It's just my experience, basically. I'm not saying that it's the way you should do it. I'm just telling you how I did it, basically.
He actually has, on several occasions, claimed to be an expert.
I was just thinking the same thing. You're at least pro. You might not be expert, but you're pro, because a professional gets paid for his work. So you're pro, but maybe not expert.
No.
Fair enough.
And last of all, let's before we go on to important Savage Worlds news or Nerds International news, we got one last thing. We want to talk about the Saga of the Goblin Horde contest. That, of course, is still open. So if you want to win a hardcover colour copy of Saga of the Goblin Horde, all you need to do is send in your 16-line goblin songs to thewilddie@gmail.com. We've got how long left, Eric? 2 weeks?
Yeah, about 2 weeks.
We've got 2 weeks left on that competition. Send those in and I will make them into an actual song. Third prize gets made into a song. Second place prize, you get $10 gift certificate to Drive Through RPG. First place prize, you get that book of Saga of the Goblin Horde. And it's going to be a fun competition. Isn't that right, guys?
Absolutely. Keep it short, keep it sweet. Use small words. Maybe don't go over 5 letters. Harrison will be your bestie.
Exactly. Any long ones, I'm not going to read them. I am lazy. I've put this out there before.
We need a right in the bin jingle is what we need, I think.
Yes, definitely. In fact, I'm gonna. There are some that I'm gonna put right in the bin. Any long ones, they go right in the bin.
So far, people have been sticking to the short part. I think they got the message.
They certainly did. Good. So, with that, let's move on to the news.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is time for the news. The news is incoming. Prepare yourself for the news. News! And some announcements about the Nerds International Network and the Wild Die podcast.
Well, a reminder again, NIVCon coming up March 10th and 11th. So join us for some games. it's gonna be fun. We got like a dozen games right now. Some Savage Worlds, but a lot of different games too. So if you want a game with Gary's a great GM. You can play in one of his games. Harrison too. Manuel. Owen Lean was running some Deadlands, so a actual writer. He wrote a couple adventures for Deadlands. So, and Harrison recently played a game with him, and apparently he's a pretty good GM too. So, check it out.
The rumors are true. Gary, what are you running at NIVCon?
I'm going to be doing Gartar Round 2 in the style of ICRPG, in the key of C. Is what I'm going to be doing.
That sounds awesome.
Turn it into a bit of a musical. No, it's going to be round 2, the second part of the last story that you guys ran. That I've actually done it a couple of times. The first one, I've created the second part. It's been sitting, it's been hibernating, it's been brewing, it's been what's the word when you let alcohol sit? Aging. It's been aging. So yeah, by the time I bust it out next month, it should be just like a fine glass of whiskey.
Very good.
Eric, you put about 200 hours of. No, I'm not. I figured I'd join games right now. We're trying to fill up the games we've got, so adding more games onto that. I don't know. I thought it'd be a bad idea. So unless it fills up, I'm not going to run anything. I'll just play in some of you guys' games to make sure they run.
Oh, well, that's good. Well, I haven't done any preparation for mine yet.
You sound so proud.
No, the thing is, the good thing is I played this adventure before, so I've got most of it already done. The only thing is I need to draw a map on the computer, which I f***ing suck at. So I can do that at some point. But Jesus Christ! So anyone that plays in my game at that convention, apologies for how bad the map is going to be. I'll probably scan in the hand drawn one I did, which was terrible. But yeah, so that's going to be fun. Anybody that wants to join us and play some games with us, get to know us, that's going to be good fun. Last time I played in Gary's game at one of these cons, I had one of the best times ever. So yeah, you should come and join us. And just stay away from any ones that have got Eric in them.
Yeah.
Which are probably, by the sounds of it, they're all of them, because he's hogging all the slots.
Oh dear. Okay, good. Next up, the making of Savage Worlds. What's that?
Yeah, this is old news, really. 2003, 2004. It's an article or a collection of articles explaining how Savage Worlds came to be, its roots, and the whys and that kind of thing. And there's also another article, that one written by Shane Hansley, found through the Wayback Machine from the Pinnacle website in 2003, that explains the philosophy behind Savage Worlds. And it's pretty interesting because you get a better idea of why Savage Worlds is like this, why there's so many settings. So I thought everybody that thinks, why can't I just play one setting for 10 years? My name is Gary. What is that about? So you can read this and understand why it was designed that way. But read for yourself. I'll have the links to that in the show notes. It's pretty interesting.
Type.
All right. So what do we got for today? We've got a little surprise from Harrison.
Yes, I've got a new game.
A new game. So we got no idea what it is, but we'll find out soon. And then for the rest of the show, we're going to take it to the edge with a Combat 101 section. We're just going to go through a combat and run you through it. People that haven't played Savage Worlds yet and don't know how it works, we're going to try not to confuse you too much. And we're going to play that. We're going to play a little bit of Deadlands here. So, yeah, let's get on with the surprise.
How's your tracking skill? Guys, this is How's Your Tracking Skill. Because we're doing an episode about combat, what I've done is I have made some soundscapes. And these are going to relate to monsters in the Savage Worlds Core Deluxe Rulebook Core Rulebook Deluxe. And you're going to listen to these, and you have to kind of figure out which monster in the rulebook they relate to. So if you could both please listen to sample number 1.
Well, that appears to be a tiny one.
Which aminal is that in the Deluxe Core Rulebook Deluxe? You both get one answer. We'll start with Gary.
Okay, so that is the cat. That's the kitty cat, the small cat-like thing.
And Eric?
Orc.
You are a moron. Gary, you were correct. It was small cat. Let's move on to question number 2. Please play the sound clip number 2 clip.
If you got undead problems, I feel sorry for you, but I got 99 problems and this undead ain't one. If you got problems with zombies, then I'm sorry, dude, but I got 99 problems and this undead ain't one. Yeah. Bring it.
Okay, we'll start with Eric this time. What was that? Monster from the Deluxe.
I would say that's the Lich.
And Gary, what is your answer, please?
I was going to say the same thing. It's got to be the Lich, or the vampire. There is a vampire in here, I think.
Oh, well, you have to give
I'm
one
go
answer, please.
Ancient vampires. Suck it, Lamoureux.
Eric, you are in fact correct. It was 99 problems, and the Lich ain't one. Gary, you are in fact incorrect. I'm sorry.
Wow.
Okay, so third question. Let's see how it goes. Please listen to the sample.
What is the location of that creature?
This time, I will go to Gary. Which monster is this, please?
Oh, it's one of 3, and if I had to say, I'm going to shoot that it's the werewolf.
And Eric?
Dog/wolf.
Unfortunately, Gary is the winner, and he is correct. It was a man trying to locate a wolf, as in werewolf. Werewolf.
Wow.
And that is, how's your tracking skill? Did you enjoy it?
That was well done. That was well done.
Fun little game.
All right. Let's move on to the next segment, shall we? I'm glad that you guys actually enjoyed a segment I made for once.
It's better than
funny.
Sandwich World.
No, it isn't. That was my magnum opus. All right, let's move on.
Let's take it to the edge.
You're listening to the Wild Die Podcast. 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 Listen 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 to the Wild Die Podcast.
So for this segment, Combat 101, we're just gonna go through a combat encounter. And for this one, I figured we'd just do it in Deadlands. Usually, we always do examples with, fantasy, medieval fantasy D&D type. So figured we'd change it up a bit. You guys picked up your own character. Gary, you got Father Sam there?
Father Sam it is. You bet. Father Sam. He was a tinkerer in Hellstrom Industries for a while, but then he had a vision about the machines he helped build. And in that vision, an angel told him that the inspiration behind the gadgets was actually the muttering demons. So he swore off any further help on those infernal devices and gave himself to God. His last sin was borrowing a Gatling shotgun from the factory he was working at. He still remembers how to repair a few infernal devices, and he protects the innocents with his Gatling. But that's as far as it goes these days.
All right, and Harrison?
Yeah, my guy's called Langley. He doesn't have a cool backstory like Gary's guy does, but Langley is a gunslinger who learned a bit of martial arts off his martial arts mate. He is extremely dumb and also extremely arrogant. He thinks his skills are much better than he is, and he is a novice. And yeah, he will roll up into any town and just claim that he is the sheriff now because he shot the previous sheriff in the head. That's the type of guy that he is. He doesn't know how anything works, but he thinks he does.
Stand-up guy.
Yep.
I like that. All right. So for this encounter, you guys are in a log cabin in the middle of the woods. You've taken shelter there, but in the middle of the night, you're awakened by sounds outside, and when you shed some light to try to see what's going on, you see that the log cabin is surrounded by a number of walking dead. The dead have come back to life to haunt you and hunt you, also to kill you. So you're boarded up in the house and they're about to open fire inside the cabin to you. So let's see here. Let me get some cards. That'll help.
Father Sam was sleeping. He gets awoken to these strange noises outside, and I pull back the covers, and I'm wearing one of them really long, like man dresses that they used to wear back in the day. And Father Sam's a big fella.
Johns.
And yeah, well, not long johns, but it's like a dress. Do you know what I'm talking about? Think Scrooge. He's got the candle and stuff. I reach down, grab my Gatling gun and pull it across my chest. I look around and I see Langley, and I'm like, Langley, help me up. Because I'm kind of obese, and I roll over and I just sort of plop onto the ground.
Langley hops out of bed. He's got his boxer shorts on, but he's also already wearing his gun, because he always does. And he's like, looks like we got some killing to do. There, Father, what's your face?
That's Johnson.
Father, what's your face? Sam. All right. So dealing the cards, and this is how initiative is determined in Savage Worlds with cards. And of course, the highest value, aces are high. Jokers, something special. Hopefully we'll get to draw one. And after that, the color and all that, it's first, it's reverse alphabetical order. So that's how it's determined. All right. So I'll deal a card to Gary. Gary gets the Jack of Diamonds.
The big J.
Harrison gets the Queen of Diamonds.
Woo. Of course he does.
And I get the King of Diamonds. I guess I didn't shuffle that deck all too well, huh? Actually, yeah, it's just that part. I don't know. Maybe I'll shuffle later, but doesn't matter. So the King goes first, and that would be me. So the Walking Dead, you can see their rifles peeking out of the foliage right around the cabin, because there's a clearing around it, and then it's woodland. And I will say that because it's quite a distance from the cabin, they will get a -2 to their shooting because of that. And because you guys are inside the cabin, they would actually need to locate you first. So right now, they can't really see you. They just shot like a first volley of bullets inside the cabin, shattering some windows and stuff, hitting the sides, but nothing to hit you. So I will go on hold. Going on hold, when you play at the table, one thing you can do is just turn the card to its side to indicate that you're on hold. Now, depending on what the players do, I can go in and interrupt their action because I was to go first. So now let's ask... was it Harrison with the Queen of Diamonds, what Langley is doing?
Yes, well, as he is arrogant, he kind of believes that he's untouchable. So, as one of the windows smashes, he's going to dive out of cover and out of the window and sort of open fire. He's going to fan the hammer and try to shoot 6 of these on his own.
All right, digging through my bag of dice here. Hold on a little bit. Good to go. So, yeah, you jump out. I'm not even going to ask. Well, let's just pretend since we're showing how to do the combat. Give me, because the windows are kind of small. So I'll ask for an agility trick for you to do that. All right. So right through the window, barely scraping the glass shards that are sticking on the frame. And you do the ninja roll outside with guns ready, and you do fan the hammer, which is -4 to all to each shot. And also, because they're using cover from the woods, you can kind of, let's just pretend there's a lantern outside, or maybe a fire that you guys got going on that still, and moonlight, you can see a little bit. So you can see them, but barely. They're using cover, so I'm going to say -2 for cover, medium cover. So a -6 to all your bullets.
The only worthwhile shot I got was one where I scored a 10 with all the minuses.
All right, so that's a raise, because for ranged attacks, the target number is 4. So you scored 4 over the target number, which means a raise. So an extra D6 damage that you can roll. Now your weapon is probably like 2d6 plus 1, something like that.
It certainly is. And I should point out the only reason that I scored that amount is because obviously I aced on the dice. Here we go. So damage-wise, I got a 6, and that was with my Peacemaker 45. So he fires into the woods, firing off all these bullets like a crazy guy, and he's like, "Take that, you walking scum!"
All right, and the bullet hits, and it's basically a grazing shot. It hits the target, but it being a undead creature, it doesn't do anything to really hurt it. So basically, not even shaken.
Can I dive back?
And
through the
that can
window?
be explained, like I said. No, not this round. Let's see, the movement. Yeah, you still have some movement left, but to do it through the window, that'd be another action.
Okay.
Even I should have given you another -2 to your shots there, because multiple action penalty. But yeah, no, not enough. So basically, the damage, The Walking Dead has a toughness of 7. Now, I remember first time I ran that game for my cousin, he thought that whatever damage was dealt was deducted from the toughness, and it's not the case. So it's a threshold that you need to meet in order to do some damage. If you meet that threshold, that creature gets shaken, and if you rolled 4 over, it's 1 wound. So, yeah, that's it. That was your action. Mm-hmm. The guys outside were on hold, and because now there's actually a target for them, they're going to try to interrupt, but it's Gary's turn. So, Gary, what do you want to do?
All right. Well, first off, I want to say, be a good player. Pay attention to what's going on. And know what's happening. We got undead outside. Langley just got up. I asked him to get me up. I rolled out onto the floor, and he's just jumped himself through the window into a whole mess of trouble. So we're going to pick up the scene from this point.
I told you that
Langley, you darn fool!
I told you that Langley was stupid, man.
I know. So I'm rolling around on the floor, and I'm like, Langley, you darn fool, you got to get me up. Father Sam, being a rather obese person, probably would lose half of his turn trying to get up with his reduced pace. So he's rolling around on the floor in the muck and the dirt, gets himself up, grabs his holy symbol, walks out to the window that just obviously is shattered. I don't know if we had glass back in these days, 1875. Maybe it was just some wood splinter. I lean outside. I look around, kind of survey the scene for a quick second, for a hot minute. And I'm like, Langley, what are you doing standing out here? You're going to get shot. And I reach out and I'm like, may the Lord Almighty protect you from the incoming flying missiles. Jeebus will save you. And I'm going to cast my Arcane Edge Deflection, because I start with 2.
Let's see
on my good
if
buddy
he
Langley.
can interrupt you. Let's see if they can interrupt you first. So it's going to be an agility contest. So I'm going to roll my agility, which is
I got an
D6.
agility of 6. Let's do this.
I got a 7.
Okay, I got a 5.
All right. Now, when you do opposed rolls like that, the attacker will go first, and that will set the target number. So if I want it with 6, I could say 6 is not enough. I could spend one of my GM bennies for the extra to re-roll, but I'm not going to spend one of my chips. Well, Deadlands are fate chips. So I set the target number at 6. Now, Gary rolled a 5, right? You said? Well, I rolled a 7.
Yes.
He rolled a 5. So Gary now could decide to spend one of his fate chips if he wanted to re-roll, or leave it at that. What is it going to be?
I'm going to leave it at that, because I like to most of the time let the dice land where they may.
All right. So because of that, it's basically, it happens basically at the same time where Sam is peeking out of the window, about to pray for Langley out there, but all 4 of them that were hiding in the woods take a shot, just come out enough to take a shot at Langley. So there's 4 of them. And their shooting is a D6. So I'm going to roll 4 D6s. Maybe a dim lighting -1 penalty, because a bit of moonlight thing going on. So let's see, you got 4 and a 2, so that's 3 and a 1. That's not good enough. I need a 4 to hit. And then 5 and a 3. 5 minus 1 is 4. That's enough for a hit. So I will roll damage, 2d6 plus 1. I rolled 5 plus 1, 6. What is your toughness?
5.
All right, so that means I meet your toughness, and you're now shaken by the hit. You get hit maybe in the bum.
So
it just surprises you a little bit.
Well, this was with these Walking Dead. They have rifles, right?
Yeah, rifles. Yeah, would be 2d8, right?
Okay, so he shot me.
Yeah, let's just keep it with 2d6 plus 1 now.
So with the as this guy shoots Langley, I'm standing outside there on my boxes. So what I think is that maybe he shot the elastic off my boxes, and the reason that I'm shaking is I'm now standing there stark naked, and he goes, "Oh my God, this is the worst. I can't believe they've all seen my Dinkley." Yeah,
basically. Harrison's right. The rifle should have been more damage, and that's why they don't have a range penalty, because the rifle has better range, where the pistols don't have good range. So, now it's on to Father Sam, who wanted to pray for Langley, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So you've interrupted my action. Just as I'm reaching out the window, the gun starts spraying. Langley's boxers drop to the ground as I'm calling out a prayer to the Almighty to protect my good buddy Langley. And I reach out and I poke him right in the butt with my finger as holy light spreads down and covers them. So we're gonna see what happens here. I have a faith of a D8, and with my conviction edge, that's actually gonna give me +2 to my rolls. So let's see what I get here. A 3 and a 2. So 3 and +2 is 5. So that's going to be just a straight up success. So,
well, there's a straight up penalty too for each spells, each prayers in Deadlands, because you have access to all of them. It's I think it's the number of the rank level or something like that, or the number of power points that become a penalty because you don't use power points, right?
Why you gotta start ruining my fun now all of a sudden? This is how...
That's why conviction is used to offset that penalty.
Using miracles. 77, Eric. Name the power you're trying to create and tell the marshal what rank it is. Your blessed hero says a short prayer and you make a faith roll. Modify the roll by -2 per rank. So -2 for novice powers, -4 for seasoned, and so on. Okay, so the +2 is going to negate the -2. I'm going to make a note of that on my character sheet so that I remember it next time, so we don't pull ourselves out of immersion like some people around here. And I'm gonna use one of my bennies, and I'm gonna give Eric one of my straight up old fashioned fate chips, and I'm gonna roll that again. But I don't have fate chips. I'm just saying that I do. So suck it, Labyrinth. Okay, that's an 8. I don't have my webcam here. So 8 and a 2, so 10. And the +2 -2. So we're straight 10. So that's now going to be a raise. You see what I'm doing here? I'm hitting you with my one shooter.
Yeah, I'm reading between the lines. Yeah.
I cast the spell called Deflection, and on a raise... Anybody that does a fighting, shooting, or other attack directed at Harrison or Langley is going to get a -4 to their attack.
You guys can't see it because my webcam's not working, but I'm doing a dance.
Yeah, I reach out the window. I'm saying a prayer to the Lord Almighty. Protect my foolish brother. And then I just poke him in the back. But just as the gun starts shooting the elastic band out of his waist, my finger just kind of goes into his butt crack a little bit as I say a prayer to the Lord Almighty. I'm like, this is not what I had intended, my good Lord. Badook.
As you say, foolish brother, Langley turns around just to see the finger just coming towards him, and he's like, who do you call foolish? Oh! And then obviously he's the spell like envelops him, and he's like, say thanks!
Yeah, you're protected by God now. So everybody's acted this round. So I'm going to kind of collect the cards and put them in the discard pile. Okay. Now, because it's a new round, Gary, do we actually, should we keep the same cards, or should I deal new cards?
We all keep the same cards, except we just reverse the rotation. So now I go first, and then Harrison, and then you.
That is how you do things if you would like to cheat. However, if you do things properly, you put those discards into a burn pile and deal new cards every round.
We need put them in the bin jingle. Yes. Cards are now set off to the side, and you deal all new cards to all of the acting players.
Yes.
All right.
Players who are not acting would be people that are not there. Players who are currently dead. Manuel. Players like that.
You're dead to us, Manuel.
Like if a character was surprised or incapacitated, they wouldn't get a card.
Exactly.
So Gary gets the 7 of Hearts. Harrison, 5 of Diamonds.
Elias.
And I will get the Ace of Diamonds.
I see who's cheating here.
It's a weighted deck, man.
So, yeah. So I get to go first again. And because, they can't really tell that Harrison is protected right now. So they're going to open fire again with their with their rifle, and then I'm gonna keep the 2d8 damage there instead. But
You mean
they
the
got
priest's-
d6 shooting.
You mean the priest sticking his finger in it, my bum wasn't an indication that I'm protected by a deflection spell?
No, it was an indication that you guys are onto some funny business in that cabin, that retreat.
It was an accident.
Right. All right. So d6s, I got a 4. The penalties will be still -1 for dim light, and the -4 from the prayer protecting you. I rolled a 6, so I re-roll 8. 8 minus 5 would be a 3, so that's a miss also. And then two more hits. The 3 is not good. I rolled another 6. +1, 7, -5, again 2. So no hits because of God, the good word of God. The bullets stop right in front of you or seem to bounce off of this aura you've got around you.
As these bullets deflect off of Langley's chest, he puffs his chest out like he means business, and he's like, "Try that again, you undead scum! You can't hit me!"
All right. So I'm done with my bad guys, and now we'll go to Gary with the 7 of Hearts.
Okay. I've recoiled back inside the window because I just sort of reached out and poked him. I hear him as these bullets deflect off him. He starts to get a little boisterous, and I just sort of call out to him. I'm like, "You darn fool! Don't tempt the Lord to pull off His blessings." And then I walk out to the door, turn the handle, and I open it. And I'm going to waddle out into the porch in my long schmuck, so to speak. I'm going to take a multi-action penalty, and I'm going to cast Smite on my gun. And I'd also like to shoot my shotgun if I can. No, I'm assuming they're within range, because shotguns do have a shorter range.
Yeah, it would be medium range though for you with the shotgun. But
Now, here's a good question.
Who knows?
Here's a good question, right? If you smite the shotgun wouldn't do any extra damage. You need to smite the ammo. If you want to smite the shotgun, surely you need to chuck the shotgun at them.
Yeah, I think it works for 10 ammo.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
basically.
it does. What you're saying makes perfect sense, but essentially that's what you do. You smite the ammo, not the weapon.
I think if you were going to if you smote Langley's gun, he would probably throw the gun.
Okay, so I'm going to suffer -2 to all my rolls for multi-action.
Yeah, and that prayer is what, novice too, right? So another -2, but you got conviction.
Yep.
So
that's going to negate it. My faith is again a D8. Let's start praying for some high rolls here. So we'll start with that. We'll cast Smite. Lord Almighty, grant my bullets the power to take out these foul undead. I rolled a 7 and a 5, so that's not going to be 7 minus 2 is 5.
that's enough for the +2, unless you want to spend another chip to try to get a raise on it.
No, I'm on a roll here. So as I raise my gun up, I'm gonna shoot one of my shotguns off into the nearest bad feller. So that's gonna
be a -4. Yeah, medium range -2 and multiple action penalty -2, but it's a shotgun, right? Are you going to do just a single shot, or are you going to go, you can go full auto with that Gatling shotgun, right?
Let's full auto this bad boy. Now, this Gatling gun is not a El Cheapo weapon. It's the expensive Gatling gun, thanks to the backstory with Hellstrom.
Yeah. It's got rate of fire 2, I believe.
You have rate of fire 2, 12 shots, damage 1 to 3d6. So I'm getting 2 shots on this deal. That's going to be
-6.
And my shooting on my character is a D6. I'll write that down somewhere.
Yeah, there's an extra -2 penalty for a recoil penalty. If you had the rock and roll edge, then that would negate that recoil penalty. So it's at -6, 2 shots, and 1 wild die.
Okay. So a 4 and a 3 and a 1. And subtract 6 from all of those. So I'm just like shooting off into the breeze here. I'm hoping I don't hit Langley.
Oh, that's right. You rolled a 1, but no, he's not adjacent to any of your targets, so that's all right. Now you could spend another fate chip right now to re-roll this.
I'm going to do that. I'm going to give you one of my second ones. So that leaves me with 1, and we're going to try this again. So at a -6 penalty, I got double 3s, and on my second one is a 2. Nope, 3, 3, and a 2. Okay, so I just squeezed my gun off into the darkness, and I'm like, next one's going in your belly, suckers.
Yeah, with the glowing shotgun shots, those cartridges or whatever they're called, the light of God, but they just hit the woods outside. So that was very anticlimactic, Gary. And you're in a bad position right now.
Yeah, but don't worry, I'm going to bring this back. I'm going to make it fun again. It's my turn next, right?
Yep.
Okay, I'm going to do a multi-action too. And I am going to run forward to the tree line where these monsters are. Completely naked,
Okay.
of course, except for my gun belt. Which means I get to use my running die. Shall we explain what this is?
Yeah, go ahead.
So, with your running die, it means you get to move your regular pace, which is, for most characters, starts out at 6 unless it's modified by certain things. But in addition to that, you also get to roll a running die, which is also usually a d6 unless it's modified by certain things. And that gives you an additional movement of a certain amount of squares. So, I'm going to roll that now. Yes!
Squares or inches on the table. Can this die ace, Harrison?
I don't remember, which I was just about to ask because I just rolled a 6.
No.
Oh, well, good.
No,
yeah.
only trade dice ace.
Yeah, because
And
otherwise
the
you could
running die is not a trade dice.
Yeah, because otherwise you could run an infinite amount of space, couldn't you?
Right.
You just see somebody blink out at the speed of light instantly. Yeah, so I rolled a 6 on that, and then as my second action, and then as my second action, I actually have the martial artist edge. Langley learned it off a Japanese bloke that used to be his friend. He was called Ryu. And he's going to run up to one of these guys and try to do a spinning bird kick on him. And he goes, spinning bird kick! Which I'm aware isn't the move that Ryu used, just in case any Street Fighter nerds get up on my grill.
Yeah. So because you have a pace of 6 and you rolled a 6, that you could cover 12 inches on the tabletop with that. Every inch is 2 yards, so 24 yards that you ran, and I will rule that's enough to close in to one of them that had just retreated with its rifle back in the woods there, and you're coming at him with your flying seagull kick.
Spinning bird kick, get it right. Basically what it is that you see him flip upside down, his head pointing towards the ground, his legs spread eagle, and he's spinning wildly through the air like a helicopter. Okay, I'll roll fighting. Oh, this is a wild attack, by the way. So, a wild attack.
Okay, so the +2 for wild attack and to hit and damage, and because it was multiple action penalty -2, so you just roll it straight up.
Yes, and then I'll get a -2 to parry, so I'm easier to hit because I went mental, basically. Here we go. And yes, double ace. I got a 13 total to hit.
All right, so the Walking Dead's parry is a 5, so you roll 4 over, which is a raise, so an extra d6 damage.
And because I've got the martial artist edge, I already add a plus 1d4 to unarmed damage. So here we go. Oh, well, that's
And
terrible.
it was a wild attack. Wild attack is another plus 2 also.
So in total, my damage was 4, 5, 6, 8 damage. I was going for the one that I shot earlier, but I don't know if he's still shaken. Probably not.
Yeah, that's right. I forgot to do that. I forgot to roll for it. Let's just say that, yeah, he was no longer shaken, but now he is shaken again because you rolled 8 and its toughness is 7. So it staggers back, loses its balance, and that's will explain the shaken condition right now. It could be pain, it could be distraction, unbalanced, that type of thing. Shaken is just a catch-all condition, really. You can explain it however you want, but while you're shaken, you cannot take an action. You can move, but you cannot take an action, and you need to roll to recover from shaken, which is a spirit roll. So this is end of round 2 as Langley just landed back after his spectacular display of martial arts.
Underwhelming kung fu.
That's right. So we're gonna do just one more round here. Gary, the 2 of hearts. Sucky card.
You suck, Lamoureux. Who shuffled those things?
Harrison, 3 of hearts.
This is the worst shuffling I've ever seen. Okay, look, we're doing combat.
And I have the 4 of hearts.
Okay, right. Look, rule number one, if you're playing Savage Worlds, shuffle the deck well, okay? This is a brand new deck of cards that you've never used before.
Probably. I thought it wasn't, but apparently it was.
I'm surprised you didn't get the Joker, mister.
I hate you. Okay, for this round, because we're doing combat,
I'm gonna shuffle it again. I'll shuffle it better.
For this round, seeing as we're doing Combat 101, why don't we say that one of us pulls the Joker, just as a little lesson?
Yeah, that's a good idea. Yeah, let's see. Maybe it'll be me.
Piss off. Not you.
Right.
I think it should be Gary. He's the more responsible of the two of us. Langley sucks.
All right, let's try this again. Gary with the 9 of spades. Jeez. Harrison with 10 of spades. I guess my shuffling is bad, and I get the 10 of diamonds, and then because let's give Gary the Joker and explain what the Joker does, Gary.
Sweet. All right. Well, in most settings, as an option, you can turn on Joker's Wild. Anytime a Joker is drawn, bennies are handed out, and that kind of keeps the benny economy up so that you can do cool stuff like re-roll missed shots, or maybe try and make your flying bird kick go off without a hitch. So all of the players will get a benny, and I will get, and actually everybody gets a +2 to their actions, which is pretty sweet. So
for this round,
+2 and benny for everybody.
The Joker's Wild is a setting rule, so it's not in every setting, and the GM can decide to make that available. With Deadlands, it's a bit different because they use chips, so we're not going to use the Joker's Wild right now, but it is one of my favorite setting rules. I basically use it in every game I run. But yeah, like you said, +2 to everything you do, and +2 to damage because you were dealt the Joker. There's one more benefit from having the Joker too, is that if you go on hold with the Joker, you can interrupt anybody and win the contest automatically. You don't have to roll the opposed agility check. You automatically win that contest.
Yeah, we should point out that +2 only lasts for this round as well.
Yeah,
Right,
that's one thing that sort of might be a common misconception, I guess, among people. Like when people think when they get the Jokers, they get to go first, but you don't. You actually get to go whenever you want. I'm going to go on hold.
All right.
I'm going to hang out.
I'll put you on hold. Now we got 10 of spades and 10 of diamonds because, like I said, reversed alphabetical order. Spades go before diamonds. So that'll be Langley again going.
Okay. On the one that I was just about to, on the one that I just tried to shake, Langley is starting to get frustrated that he hasn't managed to damage anything, and he gets really angry, and he's like, God damn it, you wake me up, you destroy my goddamn underpants, and I can't even hurt you. Right, that's it. And he's going to shoot, throw his gun, and then go for a kick.
He's burping. You hear from the porch, "Don't use the Lord's name in vain, you darn fool. He's going to take his blessings off of you."
Screw the Lord. What's he ever done for me?
Deflected bullets, you
way,
fool.
Oh, yeah. Sorry, Lord.
Just because earlier you were shaken by those underpants but never rolled it, let's just rewind here a little bit just to show people how you recover from shaken. So that's a spirit roll.
Yep. Yeah, so I got a 9.
So a 9 is enough to remove the shaken, and you're able to act. Now, if you were to miss it, you can spend a fate chip, or in any other game, a Benny, to remove the shaken condition. And you can spend that Benny and remove that condition whenever. It doesn't even have to be on your turn. Like if you were in a bad spot, you were shaken, and 4 guys were about to open fire on you, you could just spend one of your Bennies to remove the shaken as to soften the potential blows. So but now you rolled a 9. That's plenty to have removed the shaken condition earlier. Now you can proceed. Sorry about that. We just forgot that in all our excitement, we forgot to do the recover from shaken part.
Okay, so yeah, first of all, I'm going to shoot, then I'm going to throw my gun, then I'm going to kick him. So, the shoot, so that will be, how many minuses do I get to that for the multi-actions? So it'll be -4 to everything, right?
Well, you still had the gun in your hand, right? So you don't need to draw it.
Yeah,
so you want to shoot.
Fighting last round was a kick, so yeah, I still had the gun in my hand.
All right, so you're going to shoot first, then you want to throw it.
Yep.
Which you can't do, but we'll just go along with it. And then you're going to kick.
Yeah.
Right? So that's 3 actions.
Yeah.
That'll be at -4 each.
So for the first one, I got a 12 after the minuses. So that's for the shoot.
So that'd be a hit with a raise. Yeah, raise damage.
So let me see for damage. Oh, bloody hell. Yes. That is, sorry, 1 second, 18, 25, 26 damage for the shoot.
All right, so that's well over. They are extras, so at 1 wound, they're taken out of the fight. So you only needed an 11 to take him out, although he was already shaken, so just a 7 would have been plenty to take him out right now. So that great shot, let's just say you hit him right in the head. You shot him right in the head with it, and he just explodes.
So then
drops.
Can I still use my throwing action for a zombie next to him, or?
Yeah, why not?
Okay, and then
there's none really next to him, but you can still throw it.
Yeah, but am I throwing it at the ground?
They were spread out. They were kind of surrounding the place. So
okay,
he's kind of far.
All right, well, forget
Let's
it then.
get you an extra -2. It'd be at -8.
Oh, fuck
because
it.
of distance.
Well, screw it then. I'll try it. Here we go. I got a -3, so I will Benny that. So I've currently got 3 Bennies left. I'm going to try that again. Okay, another fail. Try that again. Hey, I've got 2 Bennies left. Let's give that another go. Nope. My final Benny. Okay, good. I throw the gun into the woods, and he's like, "Take that, you zombie! Oh no!"
Well done. Oh,
Good luck finding it now.
Yeah, he Langley yells over to Father Sam, and he goes, "Sam! Sam! Sam!
Yeah, what do you want, you darn fool? What?
The damn zombies took my gun!"
No, you threw it in the bush there. I saw you.
No, that's not how it went down. They took my gun.
Are you saying there's another one of them there zombies in the bush?
Yeah, an invisible one. Took it right out of my hand.
Okay, so at this point, I'm gonna spend my Joker card, my Joker's Wild, and I'm gonna sort of advance off to where he's at because there's an invisible zombie in the bush, and I'm gonna head over in that direction. And as I get up near Langley, I'm like, "All right, point him out there, and I'll fill him full of lead, my friend."
No, don't worry. No, don't worry about it. No need to waste ammo or nothing. No, I've got this one covered. You go get one of the visible ones. This one to be too difficult for you to kill. I'll deal with this one.
Well, are you sure?
Yeah, it's definitely
I didn't
real.
come all
though.
the way over here.
No, it's definitely real. but I'll deal with this one. It's a bit above your pay grade.
So as we're standing here for like 10 minutes deciding which one I should shoot, I'm just going to turn around. Then I'll be loud. The nearest one is still medium range. Is that what we're doing here?
Yeah.
Okay, so Father Sam is gonna, with his shooting of D6 and a medium range, is gonna be -2. We're gonna do
+2 because it's a shotgun.
Yep. Sorry, my bad. What do we got? We got a 3 and a 1, and on the second bullet, we got a 6. That's going to be a hit. So a 6 and a 5 is 11 plus 2 is 13, Brosif. 13.
Yeah.
That's a hit with a raise. Because of the distance, the shotgun is 2d6 damage instead of 3d6, but now you get a raise, so an extra d6. So 3d6 damage.
Go. That's a 4 and a 1 and a 2 from a raise.
So 7
whopping points.
That's enough for shaken.
+2 for smite is a 9.
Oh, that's right. Well, it's still shaken. Yep. So, yeah, now it's their turn. One of them is shaken. So I'm going to roll for that guy. He's got a spirit of D4 only, but there's the undead ability there that gives them a +2 to recover from being shaken. So I rolled a 2 +2, 4, no longer shaken. So we've got 3 that are able to act. One of them was dropped by Langley earlier, right? So they're going to shoot again. 2 of them are gonna shoot at Father Sam because he's the most threatening one right now with his shotgun. As of Langley threw his pistol in the bushes. So he's not really dangerous.
He's just a naked guy standing there with his wang hanging out. Like,
All right, so the 2 on Father Sam roll a 1 and a 5. There's still a dim penalty because of moonlight. 5 minus 1 is 4, so they'll hit. One of them hits Father Sam. I'll roll 2d8 damage from the rifle. A 3 and a 1. That's 4 damage. That's not enough to meet your toughness, right?
Obese gives me a bit of a toughness boost. So yeah, that's going to be a toughness of 5.
All right. Not enough to hurt you. The bullet hits you, but it's a flesh wound.
Mm-hmm.
Now the one on Langley, the naked kung fu guy, 5 minus 1, 4 is a hit, and then I'll roll a 2d8 damage. 8, ace, 13, 19 against your toughness. What's your toughness?
5. I don't got any pennies left.
So
I spent it all on that stupid maneuver I was trying to do. I spent it all trying to throw my gun into the bushes.
Wow. 19. So 5 at 9 is 1 wound, and then at 13 is 2 wounds, and 18 is 3 wounds. So you are shaken and suffer 3 wounds. And as you pointed out, you burnt all your fate chips, so you can't get a soak roll.
Yeah.
With this, so you're close to death right now. Naked.
Okay, yeah, he's standing there just bleeding. Gets this rifle shot right through his gut, and he's just like, oh dang it! Oh Sam, I never thought I'd go out like this, and I don't intend to. And he starts running back towards the house. Bye.
And now, of course,
that's awesome.
the wounds will be a penalty to everything you do. That'd be a -3 for everything, even recovering from shaken, and your pace as well. So instead of moving at 6 pace, you'd be moving at 3 pace right now.
Yeah, and most character sheets very helpfully point that out as well, because it has wounds -1, -2, -3, and fatigue does the same thing as well, -1, -2. So if you are -3 wounds, -2 fatigue, that means you're rolling at -5 for everything. As all the players in my Solomon Kane game are sadly currently happening to them.
Yeah, that's something that people often forget, the fatigue,
Yeah, I think a lot of the time the players in my game, that they hope that I forget.
Yeah, it can be tough. So that was 3 rounds that we messed up a lot, and everybody will mess up a lot, but it can still be fun, right? So I hope if you're new to Savage Worlds, you've never played it, you get the gist of it. That should help out. I hope so. I hope we didn't confuse you.
I think we went through a lot of the rules. One of the things that I did in there as well is I used one of the combat options with Wild Attack. There are a hell of a lot in Savage Worlds. All those really do is give you more strategic options. Don't worry too much about memorizing them all and using them all if you're new to the combat. Just use them as and when they come up, and if you're a GM that knows them all, use them against your players so that they'll begin to know them. That's a tip that Eric gave in the last podcast, I believe. But don't worry too much about memorizing them all. Just learn the basics first, and then learn all the different combat options, because they're not important to enjoying the game, but they are important to learning new tactics and things to use against your players or to use against monsters if you're a player.
Yeah, for me, I keep saying that, but that was one of the draws to the game, is all these options, because you're not bound to just saying I shoot or I swing my sword. You have more options. You can decide, change the odds depending on your tactics there, and that's why I think the combat in Savage Worlds is fun.
Oh, totally.
Any thoughts or comments, Gary?
I'm not sure. I think it's part of the GM's screen. you can have all of the combat options in a list, and it'll show you what they all do, which is something to keep handy if you want to do some cool maneuvers while you're playing. There's a short list that'll say, wild attack will give you +2 here, -2 parry on your next turn, kind of a thing.
Yeah, I
keep
know
that list handy.
Yeah.
I know the thing you're talking about. If you go on the website, they have printouts for the GM screen. There's the Savage Worlds customizable GM screen. They have printouts for that, and they've got them for different settings. So there's the Deadlands one, the Solomon Kane one, and then there's a generic one. It's on the generic one. They have all the combat options, and they might have it for Deadlands as well. But I know that the combat options are all on the generic one as well. So yeah, on the Pinnacle website, have a look at that. But yeah, I definitely keep them handy. It's super handy to have around.
Yep. All right, let's wrap this up.
Boing.
Yo, motherfuckers, you all best back up. I always got a gun, I always come strap up. This ain't a game of pool, it ain't no time for no rack up. It's the motherfucking time for the motherfucking wrap up. Anyone who disagrees will get smack up. See me back in school when I shouldn't have learned to add up. Found a gun on the floor, instead I picked that up. Anyway, sorry, I'm motherfucking back up. What I'm trying to say is it's time for the wrap up. Yeah, this one goes out to all the ladies and all the men out there. Everyone in the front row, grease up. Yeah.
We hope you enjoyed this episode. We put this together at the last minute, but it was from feedback, from a request from a listener that we do this. So hope you enjoyed it. You learned something, and your game will be better.
I think that sometimes when you play for Savage Worlds for a long time, or any game for a long time, sometimes there are little things about the basics that you forget as well. For example, I just realised I've been using Vigour to unshake. Been doing it wrong for quite some time. Whoops.
Yeah, Vigour is for soaking wounds and Spirit for recovering from shaking. But
whoops.
I don't think that's a big deal.
Never mind.
Yeah, sometimes you just need to go back to the starter sheet, Harrison. You got to put on your training wheels maybe to get back on that bike that you haven't ridden in some time.
Or maybe I'll just play ISD RPG.
Perfect. Let's do it.
All right. How about some contact info, guys?
What did you call me? Okay, so yeah, the contact info. If you want to get in contact with us, you can email us at thewilddie@gmail.com or go over to the Google Plus community where we are at the Wild Die Podcast. And of course, we belong to the Nerds International community where you can get in contact with a bunch of other awesome shows such as
Murder Hobo Show,
such as the Murder Hobo Show, which is a guy. It's run by some guy that well, we hate him. Everyone hates him. Tell us about that show, Gary.
It's just some jackass. He's a big mouth. Doesn't know what he's talking about. Does a bunch of retarded stuff. Yeah, it's not entertaining. It's not funny. Very low talent. It's like stepping into the mind of a drunk hobo in the back alley of your gaming shop and just living in there. That's what it's like.
That's the most ringing endorsement of a show I've ever heard. So yeah, go over to the Nerds International community. And of course, we're on Twitter at The Wild Die. And if you want to sling us a buck for what we do, we are over on patreon.com/The Wild Die. And at this point, we would like to thank our Patreon donators.
Sean Richards, Sawyer, Tony Fanning, Rob Tao, John Peterson, Manuel Sands, David Maurice, Garrett, James Clark, Peter Beckett, Peter Adams, Tom Lewis, Perry Chalmers, Digital Dungeon Master, Eli Kurtz, Matthew J. Hanson, Woods Beats, John Steve, Pure Muggle, Owen Lee, Andy Hall, Christopher Gray and Bubbles, Gil Dashard, the Conrad Erasmus Neubert. This list is getting long. Why don't you suck my lollipop collection? Beep. Here are some outtakes. Peter Adams, Tom Lewis, Terry Beep. Mongrel, Owen Lean, Andy Hall, Christopher Gray, Gail Beep. Rob Tao, Peterson. Beep.
Yeah. Well, thank you guys. It was cool to hang out with you again this morning. Wow. So this is Eric saying, shuffle the deck well. Manuel.
And this is Harrison saying, grapple the skies.
This is Manuel saying, Langley, Langley, keep your darn pants on. Keep it fun. Thanks, everyone. We're out.
Yay! All right, see ya.
All right.
The Wild Die Podcast is not affiliated with or endorsed by Pinnacle Entertainment Group or official Pinnacle licensees. Any of the products mentioned on our show or appear on our website are the property and copyright of the respected owners. All music and artwork is used with permission of Pinnacle Entertainment Group. All items are used under fair use and educational and review purposes. All other items are the intellectual property of the Wild Die Podcast.